Hey guys, welcome back to the Detour. I'm Cecily, and today we're going to be moving our body in a way that's going to get us into a really strong posture, focusing in on those ever important core muscles. So roll out your mat and I'll meet you back here. All right, so we're going to start today on our backs. So get yourself comfortable. If you tend to have any kind of neck discomfort when you lie down, then you want to have a pillow or a towel for underneath your head and neck just to support it. And we'll come down with the knees bending. The first thing I want you to pay attention to here is what part of your body is in contact with the mat. So when you lie down, does your lower back naturally find the floor, or does it tend to stay more raised off of the mat? Is it possible to move the pelvis just a little bit, just to get comfortable with how much impact this type of movement has on the contact you have with the floor? Conversely, could you keep your pelvis steady and now just close and open the space underneath you? I'll bring my arms up just so you can see. So the space goes down, space goes up. It's very slight. So now, rather than moving my pelvis, I'm activating the deeper layers of my abdominals, specifically the TVA, transverse abdominis. So let's all bring the arms up now toward the ceiling and see if your pelvis can stay what feels like its natural placement, so it's not tucking under like this or tipping forward to create that big gap. Your sacrum, that broad bone of the lower back, is nice and flat, and we're looking for a sense of compression from the front body in a way that's going to bring more of your back body towards the floor. I'm going to look to maintain that feeling through the trunk and pull up my right knee. Just 90 degrees, and the knee lifts up over the hip, and then I bring it back down. Place the right, lift the left. And the challenge here is to try and keep very little movement happening through the trunk and through the pelvis, which requires a lot of stability. Once this is starting to happen, see if we can bring a little bit of coordination to the movement using the arms. Okay? So as my right leg comes up, my left arm is going to go back a little bit and then come back up to center. As my left leg goes up, my right arm is going to go back a little bit and come back up to center. Let's just do a couple more each side. As the arms and legs move, can we keep everything that we established in the trunk and in the pelvis from destabilizing? It just keeps it nice and still. One more time. Good. And then with the arms staying up, I'm going to lift the right leg and then the left leg. So now everything is in the air. Take a moment now that we've found a new position and reassess what's happening in your spine and your pelvis. Okay, and starting again with just the legs, my right heel is going to move down towards the floor, just a light tap, and come back up. And then my left, and coming back up. Let's do 2 more each leg. No space moving underneath you. Just try and keep that sense of pressure down through the lower part of your ribs, the lower end of your sternum towards the floor. May have thrown an extra one in there for you. Okay, so the next time the right leg is going down, now my left arm is going to go back. And then they come back up at the same time. Left heel goes down, right arm goes back. Can you get the coordination to happen so that your stable, non-moving arm and non-moving leg actually stay in place while the others go and move away from each other? Yeah, nothing happening in the trunk other than activation. No movement. No rocking side to side. Last one, each leg. Cool. Now I'll bring one foot down to the floor at a time. And then relax the arms. You might even take the hands onto the belly. And let's just bring some breath there into the stomach. One more, just keeping the chest nice and soft. Inflate the breath into the abdomen. And then however you'd like to transition, we're going to make our way up onto the hands and knees. If it feels like you need to do a little bit of prep for the wrists or get something to pad underneath your knees, you're more than welcome to make yourself comfortable in whatever way you need to, eventually ending up with the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over top of the knees. Notice here I'm tucking the toes, and I'm going to try and find pressure both in the toes and the fingers and establish what's called more often neutral spine. So rather than be sinking down here into extension or puffing up here into like a cat pose, spinal flexion, I'm going to be in the middle, so it's more of a straight spine. And I'm pressing down now through my hands, through my toes. I'm going to think of floating those knees just a little bit up off of the floor. It's a very small lift. So if you look back at your knees, you might just see a couple inches there between your kneecap and the mat. Find that float, and let's just hold on to that for the next 10 seconds. Noticing how your body responds. Where are you feeling the work? Last 3, 2, 1, then take a rest. Sit back. If you need to bend the wrists or stretch them out to release that, feel free to take a moment. And then we'll find our way back, get onto all fours. This time I'll leave the toes just flat on the floor, but try and find that same level of activation that was required when we took the knees off the mat. So again, spine is neutral. I feel that the arms here are pushing the floor away rather than the floor pushing its way up into my arms. And now I'm going to find that cross-body activation that we started with on the back. So I'm going to slowly push through the left and reach out through the right. And just notice what happens. And then bring the right down, push, reach out through the left. Bring it back in. And then keeping the right knee down, left leg back, and in. Left knee down, right leg back, and in. Now together, right arm forward, left leg back, pause, push through left, drive down through that right shin bone, check in with your posture. Where is the head? Draw the chin in. Where is the sternum? Can we pull that lower edge of your sternum in away from the floor? And then switch sides. Right hand down, left arm forward, right leg back. Push to the right. Rather than collapsing there through your belly, try and draw in and feel the sides of your waist lifting towards the ceiling. And then bring that hand back down. Take a moment, sit back again, do what you need to do, give things a little shake. Take a couple breaths, bringing your breath back to what feels like a natural rhythm. And then we're going to find our way again onto all fours. Tucking those toes again. Floating up off the knees. This time, in combination with that knee float, find an action of pulling your hands towards your toes. So it's like I'm doing this on the mat, but my hands aren't actually going anywhere. At the same time, I'm pulling my feet towards my wrists. So it ends up being an isometric contraction, meaning everything just turns on, and your body will get a little bit of turbulence happening, which is a good thing. Again, for 10 seconds, just hold. Keep that pull going. For 4, 3, 2, and rest. Sit back. Turn those hands over again. Maybe even bring the fingers together this time and roll out the wrists. Okay. And now we're going to start to come back again into that cross-body movement. So as I set myself up, coming back to that quadruped stance, reminding yourself what it feels like just for a moment to take off that left leg, that right arm, and put them back down. left arm or right leg, and put them back down. And then this time I'm going to take my toes under, float the knees, and just for a second, can I get lighter in the right hand and the left foot? And then switch, left hand, right foot. Again, switch. It's okay to have a little bit of a lean as your body figures things out. Introducing some instability. Just a slight lift and back down. One more on each side. And come down, take a rest. Let's give the wrists a little bit of a break here by coming onto the elbows, interlacing the fingers, and then walking the feet back into a forearm plank. Okay, once I find that, I'm going to check in with the posture. So, activating through glutes, co-contracting through the lower abdomen, pressing there through my forearms, through my elbows to protract the shoulders, and then drawing the chin in so the back of the neck stays nice and long. Just doing all that's going to feel like you're doing enough. Let's hold for 10 seconds. It's 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Drop the knees. Take a moment. Either come back to your knees, sitting on the heels, or you may even lie on your belly for a few moments and just come back to your breathing. Hand can go on the chest or on the belly. Try and calm the movement in the chest and encourage movement in the abdomen. Okay. Now I'm going to walk the hands forward again. This time, keeping the hands just in line with shoulders, maybe even a little bit narrower. And then stepping my feet back into a wide stance in plank. Okay. Finding your way into what feels like long posture again. So where's the head? Drawing that chin in. Shoulders protracted. Tailbone drawing slightly down, bum turned on. And then is it possible to keep the hips level and take away the right hand? Just a little bit, just a little hover, and then put it back down. And take away the left. And if you notice a big shift of your pelvis, do that a couple more times, and each time see if we can stabilize the hips a little bit more. One more on each arm. And then drop the knees. Take a little break off of the arms and step the right foot forward. Okay? Setting yourself up so that the right knee is at 90 degrees. Left knee is also at 90 degrees, so if you need a blanket underneath it, go ahead and roll your mat in or put that blanket underneath your kneecap to give it some support. Lining up the pelvis, keeping the right side in line with the left. Arms go forward. Reaching through the arms. And then feeling that opposite arm of the front leg. So right arm pulls back. Sorry, same arm as front leg, right arm pulls back. Left arm extends forward. And you might even just hold here, kind of like bow and arrow position, or extend that right arm all the way behind you to twist. Thinking about growing up tall to the top of the head. Let's take a couple breaths. Feel that right arm pulling your upper back behind you a little bit more. And then slowly releasing the right arm forward. Taking the arms down, right can come back down, left will go forward. Support that right knee as you need to. Get tall, level the pelvis. Reach the arms ahead. Right arm reaches forward as left elbow pulls back. Allow that rotation to turn your shoulders, but not so much the hips. And then left arm goes all the way back, followed by the gaze if possible. Get a little bit taller. Lean a little bit back. Keeping that right bum turned on. Good, and release the head forward, release the left arm forward. Taking that left knee back down. And then let's move on to the hands one more time. Resetting that plank. Wide stance. Setting up that long spine, reaching out through the top of the head, back down through the tailbone. And now as I push through left, I get a little lighter in the right hand and a little lighter in the left foot. And then reset. Pushing through right, left hand, right foot, get a little lighter, and come down. Just keep switching side to side, knowing at any time you could also do this from the knees. Revisit that sense of stabilization through the trunk with any degree of intensity. All we need is a little bit of instability to start waking new things up. One more each side. And then drop the hips back. Walk that arms all the way back behind you and pause in child's pose for a few breaths. Whenever you're ready to move out of child's pose, just go ahead and take a comfortable seat. Pausing, notice how things are feeling. Take a few breaths. And then just before we finish, let's come to standing for a second. Noticing how it feels now to just come up onto your feet. Standing tall. Can we connect to that sense of trunk stabilization? Can we use the trunk to inform how we're standing in our legs and in our feet? And then start to observe the upper body, where the shoulders are sitting. And can we just gently slide the shoulder blades into our back pockets? Not pinning them together, just dropping them down. And feeling the top of the head lifting up toward the ceiling, drawing the ears slightly back and up. Coming back to the breath. And just noticing how it feels to stand like this. And then we'll leave it there for today. Thanks everyone for following along. I hope you're feeling tall and restored. Maybe you gained a couple inches during this practice. I look forward to seeing you next time as we follow the detour together.